Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. Just like every DLC for GTA Online before this one, the download for Smuggler's Run contains several vehicles that have not yet been released for purchase in the game. You're looking at 10 of them right now. There's 2 supercars, 1 sports classics, 1 helicopter, 5 planes, and 2 jets, though one of them is not pictured. So let's take a quick look at each one of these. From Legendary Motorsports, there is the new Dewbauchee Rapid GT Classic. Based on a vintage Aston Martin V8 Vantage, this sports classics car is gorgeous. I usually don't do this type of speculation on my channel, but I'm going to go ahead and include prices for each of these. I'm taking my information from Foxy Snaps on Twitter, and well, he's typically right about this stuff. So, the Rapid GT Classic will cost $885,000, and I think it's well worth it. I mean, just look at this car. It is a stunning vehicle inside and out. At the very end of this video, I'll show you all the customization options available for both the Rapid GT Classic and the next car that we're going to look at. And that brings us to the Coil Cyclone. Oddly positioned in the Supers class, this car is nice to look at and not much else. Like most electric cars in the game, the Cyclone has excellent acceleration, but it has terrible top speed, handling, braking, and well, it's just not a good car. Considering that it's going to cost $1,890,000 to buy, I'd say save your money for something better. And really, that's a shame, because the Cyclone sports quite a few customization options that really complement the car quite well. Moving over to the Elitist travel website, we have the Buckingham Pyro NX25. You could get hooked for the buy it now price of $1,296,750, or after you run 27 supply missions, unlock the trade price of $975,000. Since I'm using a single player PC mod, which I'll leave a link in the description down below, but since I'm using that mod to spawn all of these vehicles on the day that Smuggler's Run was released, the more advanced mods that allows me to look at the customization of these vehicles that require something other than Los Santos Customs, well, those just haven't been updated yet. Because of that, I have absolutely no idea what upgrades, if any, that this plane or the rest of the vehicles in this video are going to have available. I do know, however, that the Howard handles nicely, and it seems to move along at a pretty decent speed. Just be careful when you come in for a landing though, because like a lot of planes in Smuggler's Run, it tends to want to bounce back up into the air, and if your nose is pointing too far down, you're going to break off the propellers. Next up is the Western Seabreeze. This one is going to set you back $1,130,500 for the buy it now price, or 36 supply missions will unlock the trade price of $850,000. Looking at the fuselage and considering the name Seabreeze, you'd expect that this plane can land on water, and you'd be correct. It does tend to get pushed back into flight by even the teeniest tiniest of waves, but that same quality makes it really simple to take back off when you're out at sea. The Seabreeze handles in the air really well, pulling off loops and barrel rolls with ease, and it feels decently quick. That brings us to the Warstock collection, starting with the massive RM-10 Bombushka. I've heard rumors that this plane will function as sort of a flying MOC, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. You can see a terminal with a seat just inside the door, plus you can see that there's both a top-mounted turret and rear tail gun that are clearly visible. Coming in at a whopping buy it now price of $5,918,500, the Bombushka sadly is not the most expensive unreleased vehicle. You can save yourself quite a bit of money though by running 24 supply missions, which gives you a trade price of $4,450,000. The Bombushka isn't exactly quick, and it's not really the most maneuverable planes once you do get it into the air. But I did notice that it has a place for bomb bay doors, so I'm sure this beast will get plenty of upgrades to turn it into one hell of a flying fortress. This is the Mammoth Mogul, and it's going to cost you $3,125,500. Or you could run 30 supply missions to unlock the trade price of $2,350,000. It comes stock with machine guns and seating for a pilot, co-pilot, and a gunner. Sadly, since I was using single player story mode to record this video, I could not enter the gunner's seat to test that out. Once again, I am pretty certain that I can see the outline of bomb bay doors, so with enough upgrades, the Mogul could be fairly deadly. It's not exactly quick, but it's also not really the slowest thing around either though. It is, however, incredibly easy to fly. It remains very stable even when pulling off loops and barrel rolls. This little jet is the Buckingham Pyro. Out of all the unreleased aircraft, I think that this might be the one I might actually buy because, well, it's just incredibly fun to fly. After 33 supply missions, you'll be able to unlock the trade price of $3,350,000, or if you're not that patient, you can get suckered into the buy it now price of $4,455,500. The Pyro is unbelievably stable in the air, pulling off the stunts with ease. Honestly, I kept flying for a good hour after I stopped recording just because I had such a good time with this jet. I didn't see any bomb bay doors on this one, and as I mentioned earlier, I don't really have any idea what type of upgrades it's going to receive. Once more advanced mods are updated to work with Smuggler's Run, I'll jump back into story mode and check out what's what in terms of upgrades. Next up is the Vigilante Supercar. Now, I'm fairly certain that we can all agree that this is the car that we'll most likely see released around Halloween. Do your best to dress up as Batman, and then buy the GTA Online equivalent of the Batmobile for $3,750,000. Yeah, you better be Bruce Wayne with that sort of sticker price. But if you do have the money to burn, you'll get a wicked-looking supercar that has machine guns, a rocket booster, and that can ram practically anything out of its way. Sadly, it requires an MOC to be upgraded, so I could not check out all of the upgrades for the Vigilante. By the way, does anybody else think it's weird that this car does not have any manufacturer name associated with it? It's just the Vigilante. No Grotti, no Dewbauchee, no Vapid, just Vigilante. Moving on, we have the P45 Nokota. This little plane is fairly quick. Quick enough, in fact, that I was able to easily catch up and fly circles around all of the jets that fly through the skies in story mode. The Nokota will set you back $2,653,350 unless you run 39 supply missions to unlock the trade price of $1,995,000. At the trade price, the Nokota might just be worth it. Not only is it quick, but it's really easy to fly, and it's not a pain in the ass to land. Plus, its machine guns seem to fire a bit quicker than the other stock planes in this video. If you're a fan of small single-seat fighter planes, the Nokota might just offer the most bang for your buck. The last vehicle that I'm going to feature in this video is the FH-1 Hunter Attack Chopper. You know what? It's about time that GTA Online gets one of the most beloved weaponized helicopters from the entire GTA franchise. It's not exactly cheap though, which means that it's going to drain your bank account of $3,100,000 for the trade price after 42 supply missions, or you can just waste your money and pay the buy it now price of $4,123,000. Either way, you'll get a 2-seat helicopter that has both homing and barrage missiles. The homing missiles can be fired one after the other, while the barrage missiles shoot out clusters of 7 missiles with each shot. There's also a gun mounted on the front, but once again, the game would not let me operate it in story mode. But if you run supply missions, there's a really good chance that you're going to get to test out the Hunter because it does feature in a couple of those missions. As we move on to looking at the customization options for the Rapid GT Classic and the Cyclone, I gotta point out that there is one more vehicle coming at a later date, but it's one that has been in the game since it launched. The Joe-built P996 Laser is finally going to be available for purchase for a staggering $6,500,000. There was no word on the trade price, so you better get to grinding if you hope to add the laser to your overpriced hangar. If you've been following along, then you may have noticed that the total purchase price for all of these vehicles is $35,728,100 at the buy it now price, or $30,095,000 for the trade prices. This is definitely not a cheap DLC. So you'd be wise to run the supply missions to unlock those trade prices because that's going to save you over $5.6 million. And with this many unreleased cars and planes, we could be looking at a slow drip feed that could take us well into the end of November of this year. So that's going to wrap it up for the unreleased vehicles from Smuggler's Run. For the rest of this video, I'm going to let you check out the customization for the 2 cars that could go into LSC. Then I'll give you a quick listen to the engine startup sound of all 10 vehicles that I featured, plus the driving sounds of the 3 cars. Stay tuned for even more coverage of Smuggler's Run DLC right here on my channel. But until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.
Here for the magic touch?
Wow. Hi there.
Hey, yo, half my money though. Shithead! Oh.
Hey, you hit me!